Hello, my name is Louise and welcome to Adventures with Yarn. This is my knitting and crochet podcast. This is meant for entertainment purposes in which I welcome you to join me as I just kind of babble on about knitting and crochet and the crafts that I have going on. If you are a new viewer, welcome. I'm so glad that you've taken the time to come check me out. And if you are already a subscriber, welcome back. I really appreciate it. If you're not a subscriber already, feel free to subscribe. I try my very best to put out a new episode every Monday. So you can hit the subscribe button. If you hit the little bell button, you'll also be notified of every new episode that I put out. I hope you guys have all had a wonderful week. I know that I've had a pretty good week. Just working on a few projects, work's going good, things are going good, enjoying my weekend. If you notice my sweater here, it does say out of office, which I thought was just perfect for the weekend, which my weekend, yeah, is a little bit different than what most people work. But I am a nurse. When I'm not knitting, I work as a nurse here in the Pacific Northwest of America in the state of Oregon. Yeah, so my weekend starts on Sundays, and I have a few weekdays off. Okay, like I said, I hope you guys are all doing well. Let's talk about knitting. If you have watched my previous episodes, you know that I am working on my first sweater that I've ever knit. For an adult. I've knit the baby sweaters, but never really adult sweaters, and certainly never a sweater for myself. So I'm really excited to be working on my Basic Raglan Pullover. This is by Joji Locatelli. And you can see this beautiful, beautiful purpley yarn. This is by Amy Florence of the Stranded Dye Works podcast. This is the DK weight in the colorway Midnight Sun, and this is the 100% BFL, which stands for Blue Face Luster wool. So this is some really nice, high quality, soft wool from England, which is nice and exciting. You can see I already have the body of the sweater done, and this week I was working on the sleeves. So I didn't get a whole lot of knitting done on this week. Basically, you can see this stitch marker here was where things were when I left off from filming last week. And I pretty much have knit the sleeve here so far. It's kind of been an interesting working on it so far. Just kind of been doing, I think it's like a 6 rounds and then a decreased round so many times. And eventually it will just kind of taper down. I am using the magic loop on circular needles. Basically until the sleeve gets small enough that I might not use the circular needles, then I'll switch to double pointed needles. But if I can help it, I always prefer the circular needles to the double pointed needles. I just always worry that like things are gonna slip off the double pointed needles, or I'm gonna get that laddering effect down the side. So I just much prefer to even use the magic loop, using the circular needles. If I have to, you know, rearrange things on that, that's fine. I prefer that. So hopefully I will get more done on the sleeve. I'm really hoping to get this finished in time for, in time to wear it and model it and get my picture taken in front of the Capitol here in Oregon. The capital of Oregon has these beautiful cherry blossom trees in like the courtyard area in front of it, and I think that would be so much fun to get my picture taken wearing my finished object, which will be this sweater. And I just think it would be really pretty spring, and you've got this purple, you'll have the pink of the cherry blossoms, so that's my goal. you could see the bottom of this sweater. I'm having this issue with the bottom of this flipping up like this. So I may have been overly excited to finish the body of this sweater, and so I didn't knit like the full 2 inches of ribbing that the pattern actually calls for down at the bottom. I just got so excited. And I wonder if that is why this flips up, or if it will kind of flatten itself out in the end after I block it. I have posted this question on the discussion topic on the Knitting Vicariously Ravelry group page. There is a chat thread for those who are knitting their first sweater. So I did pose that question, and I got a few different answers. Some people thought that I might have to tear this out and knit a bit longer. Some people thought that maybe it will just block out and it will stay. So I figure I'll just see. I'll block it, see if it lays flat, and go from there. So, very exciting. I can already tell this is going to be like a nice, cozy, warm, and soft sweater already. I'm really excited about that. Okay, the next project that I have been knitting on are my Shell Cottage Socks by Helen of Curious Handmade, and featured in the Handmade Sock Society, Season 2 actually, which I will provide a link to at the bottom down below, down in the description. If you haven't joined the Handmade Sock Society, I'd really encourage you to do so. It's super fun, super cool. Basically, you sign up, you get put on an email list, and you pay a one-time fee of about $20, and that will get you a total of 6 different sock patterns that are dispersed throughout the year. So the first pattern is already out, and then every other month a pattern will be released until December. And in the meantime, you can get on the Handmade Sock Society Ravelry page, and you can show your progress. You can talk to others who are also working on the same socks, and look at all the different colors of yarn that other people are using and what kind of issues they're having. And as you have these patterns, you also have some writing by Helen of Curious Handmade, in which she really sets the mood for the Handmade Sock Society, which is themed about the Cornish coastline in England. And it's really pretty. It's a really pretty writing that she writes. It just puts you right in the scenery, right in that mood and that mindset that you can just, you know, imagine yourself there on the beach at this coastal getaway, and you're knitting your socks. So anyways, the first sock pattern of the Handmade Sock Society is the Shell Cottage Socks, and this is my progress so far. Yeah, not a whole lot of progress since last week. I think last week I was just like at the heel turn, and I have done these gusset decreases and a bit of length on the foot. I really, really like this pattern. It's called the Shell Cottage Socks, right? And this texture kind of looks like a whole bunch of little seashells lined up. So it's really cute. And the yarn that I'm using is by Biffsugar Yarns. It is the colorway called Beatrix. And I really like just the kind of bits of pinks and browns on this cream. It really does make me think of seashells. So, I mean, just the perfect mix. And these socks are they're just kind of like dainty and elegant and pretty. I'm really enjoying how these are working out. A lot of fun. I am making these on my Chow Goo 9-inch circular needles. I have posted like a picture of these socks on my Instagram this last week, of which you can come and join me, follow me, talk to me on Instagram at Adventures with Yarn. I also have a Facebook group called Adventures with Yarn. You can come chat with me there. I had posted a picture of these socks, and I like made the yarn spell out like love in cursive with the yarn trailing off the socks. And I got a lot of comments about other people who knit, who just have never tried socks or have been afraid to try socks. And I know I used to be really afraid to try socks. I thought that just looks intimidating, that looks daunting. I don't think I can do it. But guess what? You can do it. Basically, there are socks that you can knit from the toe on up, and there are some that start from the leg on down to the toe. And let me tell you what, if you can knit in the round, and if you can knit and you can purl and you can decrease, if you can slip a stitch, then you can knit socks. Even if you don't know what the Kitchener stitch is, just Google it. Just Google it. Follow the directions. So far in my experience knitting socks, basically the Kitchener stitch comes in handy once you get all the way down to the toes, and then use the Kitchener stitch to tie that closed. But really, I mean, you're knitting in the round up here, and usually ribbing on the top of the sock. You're knitting in the round with whatever pattern is going to be on the, you know, leg of your sock. You get to the heels, and you could do these on double pointed needles, or you can, like me, get some little circulars, which have been really fun and worked very awesome, and just work your way on down. Once you get to the heel, so far in the socks that I've made, you kind of end up working this back and forth kind of issue, kind of stitch for the heels. So you stop knitting the round, and for a certain section you're just going to knit back and forth, and so in that way you're kind of making just the heel flap, I guess, so the back of the heel. And then after you do that, you are going to keep working back and forth. You'll just leave the rest of the stitching on your needles, and you keep working back and forth, and you do short rows. So that is another technique if you know how to do short rows. And if you don't, it's fairly simple for, I would say, even an intermediate knitter. If you kind of Google it or find someone that will kind of explain to you what the short rows are, it's fairly simple to pick up. So you work the short rows and to get the heel turn, and then you are gonna be picking stitches up. And for me, the first time I did that, yeah, I needed to do a Google search or YouTube search how to, you know, picking up stitches with socks. So, but then you've knit the heel flap, and then you're gonna end up picking up stitches to come back into the round, and then you're back into the round, doing some decreases at the heel, and then in the round till you get the length of your foot, and then the toe with the decreases there and the Kitchener stitch, and voila, there you go, you got socks. So I think that if you are afraid to knit socks, I believe in you. I think you can do it. If you can do all those things that I just mentioned, you can knit socks. You can do it. You do have to bring yourself to knit a second one after you knit the first one, so there's that. It does take a little bit of willpower, especially in my case, where maybe you might have a little bit of crafting ADD and you just kind of want to move on from one thing to the next and do all the crafts, but yeah, you just have to bring yourself to knit another sock after you knit the first one, because what I just described was knitting one sock at a time. Now, knitting two socks at once, that is a technique I have not gotten into yet. I probably will like to learn to do that at some point. I think that'd be really fun. Okay, well, this week I have some new stitch markers to show you. You probably know who I got these stitch markers from. I have been buying a lot of stitch markers from Pitter Patter Polymer since I started this YouTube channel. I really appreciate her work. It's really cute stuff, really cute stuff. And so I have two stitch markers to show you this week. This first one is this little jam cookie. Let's see if I can show this here. So this, I think you call this a Jammie Dodger. It's this little jam cookie. How cute is that? Isn't that so cute? A Jammie Dodger, I think that's what it's called. You can find her on Etsy, Pitter Patter Polymer. And I had to get this next one. So she has little stitch markers that are little foods, miniature foods, and also like little miniature little animals, little corgis or sheep or birdhouses, all kinds of super cute little things. But especially the food stuff, I think is super, super cute, and I really like it. She made some like sweet tea. So look at this little sweet tea, iced tea, sweet tea stitch marker. How cute is that? Is that not freaking adorable? So cute. With a little straw in there, a little lemon. Sweet tea, iced sweet tea, holds a special place in my heart. Just kind of because of my husband being from the South as he is, where they drink a lot of sweet tea. We are forever stocking up on the sweet tea to bring back when we go over there. That just makes me think of vacations down in the South and fun times and my husband. That just makes me think about him and his love for sweet tea. So I had to get the sweet tea little stitch marker. I thought that was way too cute. So those are the latest stitch markers that I have gotten from Pitter Patter Polymer. So this week I was considering talking to you guys about cross stitch because before I used to knit, I did a lot of cross stitching. I have two particular cross stitches that I wanted to show you, but I wasn't really able to find one of them, so I still need to hunt it down. It's around here somewhere. I was basically going through my stash looking for it, and I found one of the two, but really I was kind of just going through my stash and just being like almost overwhelmed, not quite, but almost overwhelmed with just the amount of stuff that I have. I have so much yarn. It's really a good thing that I'm on this yarn diet where I'm not buying any more yarn for a while, because I really can use up the stuff that I have. But I thought that I might want to show you just a few gems that I picked out to show you. Some of this stuff I kind of forgot that I had. It was just kind of back in there, back in the stash. Look at this. How beautiful is this? So I don't quite remember where I bought this. Probably my local yarn shop here in town. If not up in Portland, Oregon, which is a larger city than the one I live in now. Sometimes I'll go to the yarn shops up there and find things, but I can definitely see how this would catch my eye, being corally, and it's got corals, pinks, and browns. So this is by, it says that it is created by Gail Callahan, the kangaroo dyer of Valley Yarns. And this is super soft. This is really nice and soft. It says that it is a merino alpaca silk blend. I mean, whoa, no wonder it's so soft. Alpaca, merino, and silk. I have two skeins of it. I think I could foresee myself maybe making a baby sweater, like a worsted yarn baby sweater out of this. I have the idea that that was like my original intention, but I don't know. But definitely looking forward to using this. Super, super soft. Really nice, really nice, really pretty colors too. The other yarn that I found, and again, I don't remember where I bought this, but I found this beautiful pink skein, and it looks like it is of the brand Simplicity by Haiku. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. I couldn't find a colorway on this, nor could I find the weight, but it looks like it's either a DK or a worsted weight. It's a merino acrylic nylon. but I am definitely a sucker for pink. With this little skein, the skein's kind of small-ish. I think I could see myself making like a baby hat with this. And I mean, like I said, I am like obsessed with pink, so I definitely know like why I would have bought this. I would have just grabbed it. It's nice and soft, and it's beautiful, and it's pink. I would have just grabbed it. I do mostly knit for other people. I make like Christmas gifts for other people. A lot of things I make for other people having babies. But I do make like baby stuff for myself to kind of stash away for the future. Because I hope to have children in the future. So while I was digging through my stash, looking for my cross stitching, I came across a little kind of hidden stash away of a lot of baby stuff that I made for myself in the future. And I thought I'd kind of show some of you guys some of that. So, and I do apologize. I'm going to show you some of the things that I made. I don't know the patterns. I don't know the yarns off the top of my head, but I'm just going to show you these for what they are. So we have this little pink baby hat. This, I don't know if you can see the halo on this. Whatever yarn I used for this, super soft. This is really soft, really floofy kind of yarn. But this hat's really small. I think this would have to be like for an itty bitty little baby, like a little preemie or something. I mean, it just seems very short, at least. It seems very short. They would need to have like a very small head for this to fit. But that deep pink, oh, I just love it. And this is so soft too. I think I can tell that I had to have knit this on double pointed needles, because I think you can kind of see a bit of laddering on this in certain areas too. Yeah, where you can see. So maybe when I made this, I didn't realize like the technique to kind of pull my stitches a little bit tighter as I move from one double pointed needle to the next to kind of prevent that laddering effect. This one is fun. I think that this color yarn is, I want to think it's like a red heart, and I want to, the word ice cream comes to mind. So obviously this is like a self-striping yarn. I thought this would be really fun to make a baby hat and probably potentially make myself a hat too. Like, would that be weird? Would that be weird to like have a matching hat with your child? I guess I'm gonna be that parent. I'm gonna be like that embarrassing parent. But so I have this, just a very simple knitted baby hat, but made fun with that self-striping yarn. It's really fun to work with. I love yarn like that. This hat, I think I do know the yarn that was used for this. So yeah. It is like Vanna's Choice, which I think is a Lion brand yarn, in some kind of gray tweed and also some like pink blush pink. And again, just kind of a simple striped baby hat, but I really like the color. So yeah, you can tell the seam. You can see the seam on the side. I wonder if I can tell. Oh yeah, it does look like I carried the yarn up the side. You can kind of see right there. So I must have just carried the yarn on up. And I don't remember if I knit this on double pointed needles or in the round. I don't remember. But I do remember the yarn because I really like these colors together. And I thought I might as well just make this and have it for later. So there's that. We have another purple baby hat. This is some kind of, that kind of fan and feather kind of design pattern going on there. Just some purple baby yarn. I wonder why this hat didn't make it into the purple baby hats I usually knit and donate to the hospital during the month of, I think, October, for Shaken Baby Awareness. Usually the purple baby hats go to that, but for whatever reason I stashed it with the hats I'm keeping for myself. So we have that there. We have, now this is interesting. I found this hat stashed away with these other hats that I've kept. This yarn looks like a Red Heart Boutique kind of yarn, because of the fading colors. But you know what's interesting? Now that I look at it, this is the same texture as the Shell Cottage Socks. It's that stitch. And honestly, I don't remember when I made this. I don't remember making it. Is that bad? It's just been, it must have been a while ago. But if you can see the pattern there, these kind of little groups of circular shape, and that's kind of really pretty, going with the fading of the colors there. So there's that. Oh, and it's got this, I don't know if you can see the bottom. The bottom is kind of like, has this little fringe-ish, like, just kind of a little lace, kind of bordery edge type situation going on. Making it pretty. That's pretty. The last baby hat that was in my little stash is another purple baby hat. Now I can see why this wouldn't have made it with the donations. It's because of this button. I think the donations to the hospital for the babies, the purple hats for Shaken Baby Awareness Syndrome, for Shaken Baby Awareness, yeah, Shaken Baby Syndrome Awareness, blah, 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 is because of this button. They don't want their hats that are donated to have things that could potentially pose as a hazard, and if this button or any buttons were to come undone, I mean, this button's really big. Baby would have a, I mean, who knows? I'm sure they could probably fit whatever in their mouths. It might choke on it, but I found this button. I wanted to have it on there, so I went ahead and put it on there. I think that'd be really cute just to kind of have on the side. Just a big old button. So there's that one. The next thing to show you is a baby blanket that I made. I cannot recall the type of yarn that this is, but it is soft. It's really soft. It's probably Bernat brand. It's definitely something you can buy at the craft store, at Walmart, and oh my gosh, it's squishy. It's kind of like squishy like marshmallows. And it's really, really soft. If you can see that kind of textury stuff, this stuff is really, really soft, smushy. And so I made a Chevron baby blanket out of it. Some blues and purples, blues and browns. Just for, you know, baby boy gender colors. Really fun, really soft. I know when I was making this, my dog Houdini really liked to cuddle up with this every chance that he could get. He would try to get up on me and snuggle on this. It's really soft. I'd be really interested to see how this kind of wears over time, if this kind of yarn is going to become like real ratty or if it would stay pretty soft. But it is really nice. It feels soft and squishy and fun, so I will be stashing that away. And who knows, if I never end up being able to use it for myself, I could give it to someone else who ends up having a baby boy. So yeah, so it's fun to be knitting things. I get the feeling that someday when I have a child, I'm going to want to knit all the things for that baby to wear, but I'm not gonna have the time or be able to be knitting all those things. And so that is why I just have to take advantage of my time now and knit the things, and kind of balancing that out with, you know, wanting to make Christmas presents for my family and that kind of stuff. I'm always wanting, there's just so many wants. There's so many wants. There's so many things to knit. There's so many things to make. There's so many beautiful yarns to use. Do I have enough time? Is there enough time in this life? I don't know. I don't know. But I'll just try. I'll just try to make all the things. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I have started a Ravelry page. So if you would like to come join me over on Ravelry, my username is Adventure with Yarn, but I started an Adventures with Yarn Ravelry group page. There's not a whole lot on it right now, just kind of an introduction thread, but I would really love to connect with you guys, start some introductions, get some chatting going on. We can talk about what you're working on, what you're knitting, what you're crocheting, what are your future projects, what are your hopes and your dreams concerning knitting and crochet, and we can just all obsess and craft together. Yeah, feel free, come on over. Like I said, if you like what you see, feel free to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. I really hope that you guys are having a good week. I hope that the rest of your week goes well, that you have fun knitting, crocheting, whatever you're working on. And that's it. I will see you guys next week. Take care. I'll see you then. All right. Bye.